Hello, everybody, and welcome to a chat with. This is the monthly show where we basically get one of our Video Creator Club members to jump on a chat to find out more about their business and also to find out how they're utilizing video to improve their marketing and stuff like that. Now, today we have Mark Urry from Emotional Solutions. And if anybody knows Mark, they will know that Mark, if talking was an Olympic sport, can talk for Britain. Now, I thought I could talk a lot. And then I met Mark. And then I realized that I was a rank amateur. So because of the fact that he's very difficult to shut up sometimes, I made a little sign so that basically if he's rambling, then we'll slow him down and redirect him back on course, as it were. All right. So anyway, hello, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Gav. Well, I feel better for that now. You've introduced me in such a way, but it's feels good to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this talk with you and Mick. It's particularly with the Creators Club, seeing what's happening with it. It's just exciting to be able to share, obviously, what I do and what you guys do, and looking forward to it.
Good, excellent. Well, hello to everybody who's watching. We've got quite a few people on LinkedIn at the moment. So yes, basically the topics that we wanted to talk about, we had our pre-show meeting, and you did those lovely little clips for us, was basically we're going to talk about personal accountability, and we're going to talk about emotional state of people in this world today, what with everything that's going on in it. But the first thing that I actually wanted to ask you, Mark, because for feedback that I've had from the clips, the preview clips that we put out, was where did the clicking the fingers habit come from?
It's I've actually asked my dad, thinking, okay, is this something sort of I don't know, genetic or but no, my dad actually clicks with this finger, which is even stranger than mine. So
let me make you bigger. Show us again.
It's the little finger. It's not very loud, but I click there, and it's just something I do naturally. But it's just unusual that when people see it, they think no. But I cannot do it the other way. It doesn't work for me. So hey, it's normal for me. Maybe everyone else is the ones with not normal. I don't know.
It's a very peculiar way, isn't it? I mean, I can't even emulate. I can't even copy it.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think I standard middle finger job. So personal accountability. Let's talk about that. God, how much of that is lacking in this world?
I think we could all agree that just taking a snapshot of the world right now and seeing the whole thing about emotional solutions is, I remain neutral in all of this. Obviously I've got my own opinions in what I feel of what I see in the world, but actually, if I was to have a strong opinion about everything in the world where people don't take accountability, I think I'll be overwhelmed in a very short space of time. So for me as an individual, it's about, looking at this world and thinking, okay, what me as an individual, I'd like to make some change and on whatever level. And actually what I've got is a business, and the best way to promote that business and get that word out there and trying to counteract the aspects of society that we see where people do things and at the detriment of others. And unfortunately, that accountability aspect is something particularly more so at the moment. It's just laid bare for the world to see. And obviously it stirs a lot of feeling in people and a lot of strong emotions about seeing the world around them, unfortunately, be in the position that it's in now.
For me, I mean, I don't want to get political here or anything like that, but
that's an interesting, but it's a key point, Gareth, that I make that a definitive point, and particularly as we talk about video, it's about an expression of myself. And if I start expressing my opinions, then, as you know, the topic can be a little bit watered down, and then opinions get in, and
I'm a big fan of less government and more personal responsibility, to be honest.
I think that's the only way the world's going to change, Gareth, is each of us as an individual starts looking at the part that we play and realize that, we all got we all have an impact on this world, and you know, we might not feel that's great or not enough, but actually there's a lot of things we can do to start realizing what we can do.
Yeah, we're getting some comments in LinkedIn. It's not my fault.com, the 21st century disease from Julian. Yeah, very true, Julian. It does seem to be that way these days in this world, and people don't take it. It's quite funny actually, because, you know, I always quote Homer Simpson. You know, why don't my actions always have consequences? You know, and people don't seem to realize that is true. You know, that actions have consequences.
It's the concern is for me is we're seeing a lot of parts of society where individuals are aware of the consequences, yet they still continue to do them. And you know, particularly, as I said, everything that's going on, it's having increased impact on us, and we're seeing we could argue that, you know, the unjust world or imbalance that we're seeing of you know, maybe a few small people making the majority of the decisions that impact our lives, and actually we just, you know, desensitization is a word that I use a lot, and you know, one example of that is even how we use the word billions now. You know, I'm 47 years of age, and I grew up, and you know, £100 was a lot, then £1,000, and then we started talking about millions, and you know, wow, that was, now we're billions, and we talk at hedge funds and trillions, and it's just normalized communication now that we just accept without actually stopping and thinking, that's a lot of money. You know, and that could do other good things other than where we're seeing it being spent a lot of time at the moment.
Yeah, well, $1 billion.
It's exactly that, you know, and you know, frozen in time, coming back, and then £1 million. Well, okay, well, maybe that's not enough. We need to ask for more. So
I tell you what, you're not wrong. I mean, you know, you say you're 47. At the end of the day, I'm 53. But the world has completely changed so
massively.
much. You know, from when I mean, Mick's older than me. When we were younger, you know, completely different world that we live in.
Yeah, and today we've got to use our mindsets from our past of trying to work our way of a new future, and we're seeing people expressing themselves in ways. We're seeing people communicate themselves in both healthy and unhealthy ways. It's just a massive melting pot of individuals trying to find their sense of self, and as you know, there's so much white noise out there, so much information. You know, we can talk about social media, we talk about lots of different aspects of that, but actually it's when we can stop and look at those and think, actually, you know, when do people do stop and take a breath, and accountability is a big thing, and being consciously aware of that, rather than just being, you know, being triggered, things happening around us, and then maybe we react in a certain way, we say and do things, and you know, that sense of being able to stop for 5 minutes and just breathe is something that, you know, maybe a lot of people take for granted. And when you can do that and actually look at yourself in an open and honest way, and but the nature of that can invoke other strong feelings. So it's, you know, it's a topic that, you know, part of what I'm doing now as a business is communicating that with the world, with you guys, and all the great people that's hopefully watching this on LinkedIn and further afield, because it's just starting a conversation and just saying, yeah, we'll take this conversation over. I'll invite people to chat to me and ask me anything they like, because that's where the magic is. If we stop communicating, then we start assuming and start guessing how other people are feeling. And I think that's a big reason why we're in the position we're in now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for people being afraid to speak as well, because of the fact that, you know, that you get shut down or you get accused of something, or like you know.
Opinion. Well, we live in a very, you know, we could say it's a black and white world. Either you're for me, Gareth, or you're against me. You know, either you believe what I say 100% or you don't. You know, and it's, you know, we look at the media, we look at polarizing. You know, we look at people using other people's emotions against them to try and get them to conform to a certain way or to a certain belief. And actually, if that belief isn't what's inside of you, then this is where the problems can occur between sort of your head and the heart of, you know, what am I supposed to believe? What's fact and what's fiction? You know, we're in a world now of, you know, how much of this can I believe what I'm seeing? It is scary, but we've also got the opportunity now of actually looking at humanity and thinking, right, if this is a line in the sand, where do we want to be in 5-10 years? And it's empowering individuals, Gareth, and you know, that's where it's at, and that's where my videos are going to be at. And hopefully we can take on changing the world one person at a time.
So that's kind of your focus with emotional solutions is basically empowering people to be more confident and
It's it's people ask me what I do and the benefits of what I do, and I could say, yeah, I can increase your self-esteem, confidence, assertiveness, and well, actually, I don't know the impact of my work. I'd like to think I know, but actually, what does 1% more happiness mean to you? What does having self-esteem and that ability to be able to not take things personally because you can understand what's going on in the world around you
that's
and
a big
also what's inside of you? That's so empowering, Gareth.
that is
It
very
doesn't get
important.
taught in schools.
Yeah.
Being able to have a conversation with strong emotions and not getting overwhelmed or getting personal with the other person, or not allowing my ego to overwhelm situations and thinking, well, it's not all about me, but actually it is all about me, just as it's all about you, Gareth, and all about you, Mick, and it's all about everyone that's watching this live stream now. That's the true story, and that's what I do, and in getting the most out of people. And all I deal with is I'm a purveyor of compassionate honesty, Gareth.
Right.
I can tell people bluntly, but it doesn't work. I can tell people through the art of singing, and that doesn't work for everyone. So it's particularly when we look at video, because I don't have a conversation with someone, all I'm doing when I record video is looking at my black camera. I've got no feedback. All I can give that camera is just myself and trusting myself that, I'm going to say and do hopefully the right things in the right order. And, I believe in myself, and that's a powerful thing.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Mick at this instance, by the way. Sorry about this. I just wanted to. Mick is just sat there. He's with two. He's in a live stream with two people who could talk for Britain. You haven't got a chance, have you, Mick?
No. No, I'm not the biggest talker. I'm more of a ponderer. I take it in and think a lot.
An observer.
And that's perfect, Mick. I think that's very key there, of understanding what part, when being forced to do something that you don't necessarily do, or maybe not playing to your strengths, that's something that's key. But your intrinsic part of Clockwork Eye, just as maybe Gareth's the looks and the front of the business, what you do with the mechanics and all the liaison with the creative stuff on a technical issue, I like to see Gareth do some of that. But just saying,
well, the way we describe ourselves, Mark, actually, is if we were a restaurant, we'd both design the menu, but he'd cook it and I'd be out serving it.
Perfect. It worked. You worked out a way that works, to both of your strengths. Yet you can't, together you can both do things that are greater than the sum of your individual parts.
Yeah. Could you imagine two of me? Can you imagine two of me? Oh, that would be hell for everybody.
Yeah, I reckon if we did, Gareth, we could maybe wire you up or something to the national grid, and maybe that's the greener future of just having you talking to yourself in a room.
Maybe. But anyway, right. So getting back to what you're doing, and we were talking about emotions in the workplace and stuff like that. Yeah. So you've talked you brought into the conversation a few times about using video. So is your plan to make more content that then is kind of available to people on a kind of, which then they can tap into?
Well, I'm sure you appreciate this, the whole business marketing model that I've been spoken to about for so long, and saying, right, you need to market, you need to work out your ideal candidate, your target audience, and trying to hone it down, and then, right, what does that person want? And then make a video that's going to answer that question. Hopefully they'll see what I do, look at my services, and then, we do some work together, and great things happen. What I've found is actually, because I haven't got a target audience, anyone at the age of 18 plus is my target audience. Anyone that's a human being is my target audience. So with such a large scope, it's been difficult for me to be able to hone that down. And now I'm in a position where I just need to be myself and nothing else other than that. I'm not going to try and be anyone else. I'm not fortunately, I've lived quite an adventurous life. So I do have a lot of stories, and I am enjoying making video more. It's something that I've looked at doing for such a long time, and for a whole number of reasons. Technically, I've got a technical background, so that's never stopped me. It's been more of a psychological sort of block of, when I speak to that camera, what version of me do I want to show to the world? Is it the one that's got quite a deep voice that mumbles? Is it one where I need to try and change my voice? Or, it's, you know, being natural in front of a camera is something that is so refreshing for me, because it strips everything away from me, Gareth. It's a leveler for me. And but I also understand that as well, that if, you know, maybe your self-esteem is not that, you know, when you see yourself as a recording and hear your own voice and see yourself in a way, because we're used to living our lives of talking and looking through our eyes. When we record a video, we're looking back on ourselves and we're seeing what the world sees. And if that is not great inside of us, then that can maybe think, oh, maybe I don't want to put that out, or it's not good enough, or I've got too many ums, too many ahs. But actually, it's remembering that's that core message. What are you trying to get across in that video? And this is where the Creators Club comes in for me, Gareth, and that, you know, coming together with other businesses that are so diverse. You know, not everyone talks about the work that I do. And I love that, because other people inspire me, because they're doing their own things, living their lives in their own way. And small businesses, I would like to think that a small business owner, if you've chosen to do that path, then you're doing a business that really resonates with you as a person, and you're doing the stuff that you really enjoy doing. So you would think it would naturally translate to video. And, you know, we could talk about the digital age that we're going into. We haven't even mentioned artificial intelligence, but I won't mention that too much.
No, don't get started on artificial intelligence.
But you can see, you know, we're heading into a world of what's real, what's not, what's fake and what's not. When you speak on camera, well, that's it. You know it's me, and it's that really resonates with me, and it works on so many different levels, video for me. So yeah,
it's cool. Going back to what you said about Urrin and Umin, you know, basically we all it's just managing how many times you do. I always jokingly say, and here's one for the audience, see if you can finish this quote, but I always jokingly say to is human. And if anybody can finish the quote, I'll be very impressed. Yeah. But the other thing, going back to what you said earlier about, you know, people who agree and people who disagree, we always say to people, look, you know, when you put stuff out there are three types of people in the world. There are people who agree with you, great, have a conversation. There are people who disagree with you, great, have a conversation. You might learn something, they might learn something. And there are dickheads, and you'll never get away from them. Yeah. So essentially,
and that's the beauty of life as well, Gareth. As much as it's detrimental, if we were all the same, it wouldn't be a very interesting world, would it? You know, and that's what it is to me. It's exciting for video for me, because you know, particularly small businesses, you know, you're putting your uniqueness on video and having that confidence, and you know, obviously the nature of my work, I need to be confident in front of the camera, because if I didn't believe this, then I would be spotted a mile off. You know, not believing in myself, and the confidence aspect, people can read that and pick that up. And particularly the message that I want to tell the world in the coming weeks, you know, such a strong message. I need to connect with people, and video is, I can transmit this to, or you guys can transmit it to potentially 8 billion people. It's, you know, we're in a world of the digital age, but what the limiting factor is always going to be in that digital age is the human factor.
Yeah.
You know, who we are as a human being. And I think going forward, remaining human in humanity in a digital age where we're seeing avatars, we're seeing all these aspects, you know, fake news, you know, all this other stuff of the sense of who we are as an individual. If you can make videos, it strips all that away.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it so much.
Well done, Richard. Congratulations. For Richard basically got the rest of the quote, to forgive is divine.
Okay.
It is human, forgive divine. Yes, it's interesting, and as you say, this digital age and getting out there on camera is really, I think you know, this is why we started the club up, is quite simply because we wanted to help people like yourself who literally kind of, I want to do that, but I really don't know where to start, you know. And I think Tim got it right as well when Mick flashed up his comment. You know, key is to have the confidence to know no one is perfect and sell you.
Yeah.
Totally. You know, because the thing is, we always are our own biggest critics. You know, when we're creating stuff and we're putting it out there, you know, we kind of have this inner monologue that criticizes ourselves. So
and you know, you could say that your work parallels mine in, you know, people being able to look at themselves in a way that doesn't invoke, you know, unhealthy shame. You know, shame's part of life. Shame's accepting that we're just a human being and we will make mistakes just as I do. You know, I certainly don't sit in front of this camera purveying a perfect life and, you know, because it doesn't exist. It's just that honesty with yourself. And when you can be honest, then it becomes refreshing because it strips everything away. When I meet someone else, my whole business is built around openness and honesty. And when you provide that space, then I find that other people respond with that. And, you know, when people start justifying and making excuses, I'm like, well, that's your justification and excuses. That's you just trying to rationalize why you've done it, realizing why you've done it. You know, that's where the magic is, and not using it because we've got all this, you know, I say to people, they've got all the answers. Everyone's got their each and every answer that they need in their life to do whatever they want. It's about finding the right question. And that essentially is what I do is help people ask different questions, you know, to the answers they've already got. You know, we are, whether you believe we're a divine being or a hairless monkey, you know, the majority of us are sociable beings, and video connects us in a way that nothing else can.
Yeah.
We're not making Hollywood blockbusters. We're making informative videos out of business videos, promos, and informative videos, things like that.
And that's key. You know, when you see other people's videos online that have been doing this longer and they're so polished and they've got all these amazing visuals, and you think, well, I want that, but to get to that is, you know, a massive team behind them, and it's a stepped process, and you know, they didn't get there overnight. And sometimes, and again, that's where the Creators Club is because we're all essentially at the same position, or obviously some are further down the line. You know, their experience and knowledge is just so invaluable for me. There's, you know, people willing to share their time and come together within your meetings. It's just, you know, particular questions as well. I bought this, any advice? Oh, a couple of other people have bought that. Oh, great. We can start a conversation. And actually, you know, trying to find that information yourself on Google is time consuming. And as I say, it can weigh us down, and then it can prevent us actually getting off the ground in the first place. So, and that accountability is the biggest word. You know, when you say to someone, I'm going to make a video this week, well, then you still haven't got to do it, but then you've got to have the conversation with them the week later of why you haven't done it. And for some, that's enough. You know, it's not using it to beat yourself up, but it's encouraging others. You know, you guys succeeding. I love seeing your guys' success. I love seeing other people's videos getting lots of likes and hits, because it's just information saturation out there at the moment. So whatever input we can do, then I'm all up for that. Yeah.
So when you've created your content and that and everything, I take, obviously, as I say, businesses will be able to tap into that and basically utilize it. So what kind of benefits are we looking at for them from the content then? What kinds of things how are you going to be helping them?
Essentially, I see an organization as just a group of individuals. You know, for me, it doesn't necessarily mean what the organizational does. Obviously, some are more, we say, unhealthy stress, whether you're a call center, you're on a receiving end, whether you work for a bad manager, whether communication's poor in your workplace. You know, that's what I've found in all the organizations I work with is there's a commonality of issues with management, poor communication, and personal issues getting in the way of professional ones. You know, and we're in a melting pot of a lot of people struggling at the moment. And as an organization, you know, that word duty of care, I think, comes more and more evident at the moment. And I don't use the term mental health, because that's after what I do. I work with emotional health, which is very different. And I'm very clear to make that boundary. And
that's interesting.
Part of what I'm doing with organizations is giving them that information of saying, right, this is how it can work. This is how it can increase your communication level. This is how it can increase, you know, personal and professional relationships. Now, what that looks like within the company, I would like to think that people being open and honest and not going to the tea room and wasting their whole lunch break moaning about their boss and the impact that has on other people around them. And, you know, all I want people to do is just live happier lives. You know, what they do with that happiness, well, that's totally down to them. I'd like to think that when you've got a choice, you want to do more things that's going to work for win-wins, rather than what we're seeing is a win-lose at the moment of a lot of things people are doing is at the detriment of others. If we can empower individuals within an organization, well, you know, the gloves are off, then anything's possible. Everyone working together as a team, you know, communicating better, you know, being able to put these egos down and unhealthy relationships, and even if you've got to hold it together for a professional one, you know, and then when you get home, then you get back to your personal relationships, and what I do works back in the home. It works in every single sphere of someone's life.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing some of this content, to be honest with you.
And again, that's been my point of not wanting to drip feed this, to get to a point where I'm confident of how I want to communicate this, in what way, and then doing the videos. And as you can see, Mick, you know, you've known me over, and you, Gareth, over the last few months. My videos have, you know, even in a short space of time, admittedly, I'm more confident than some in front of the camera, but that's probably because of my background and all the crazy things that I've done. So, but I'm just enjoying getting my message out. You know, I know we joked about me talking a lot, because when I meet people, I've got to try and get my message across verbally. And because I'm neurodivergent, it can come across a little bit intense sometimes. And if I'm honest, it can intimidate people. And particularly when we start talking about emotions and people looking at themselves. Yeah, you know, some people run a mile, but doing it
a lot of people don't like to look.
Compassionate way, you know, as compassionate as I can get this, but you need to be brutally honest. You know, I work with adults, and my amazing wife Sasha works with young people. So I deal with compassionate honesty. My wife deals with brutal honesty with young people, and on both levels, it works really well.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we actually met, didn't we? I was down. Ironically, everybody out there, Mark lives in the same town as my sister, down in Somerset. So when I was visiting my sister a while back, we grabbed a beer in the Wetherspoons, and it was quite an eye opener. Talking to your wife about what she encounters, and you know, this things like that, and it was an absolute eye opener.
The biggest takeaway I got, Gareth, and this is an interesting one, of everyone used to watching these videos, I didn't know if you had legs or not. I didn't know how tall you were. I only see you from the nipples up. So many people, when you meet someone in person, again, socially, feels amazing. You know, you get body language. You can shake someone's hands. You know, you can socially be with someone. On a video, it's like the Sistine Chapel. It's great, but it's not quite the same. But it's the best as in the world that we're in. But it enables me and you to chat to anyone in the world at any time, and that's quite a powerful medium. Yeah, right. Well, that's a good place to wrap up then, I suppose. To everybody who's watching, if you are interested in finding out more about emotional solutions, I will drop in the chat, I will drop a link to Mark's website. I got to do this twice because LinkedIn is a little bit different to all the other platforms, as in that's my next job, is updating my website. But as everyone will see, you know, I've got a strong message, and I'm going to get it to 8 billion people. So it's going to be some journey. In the next few weeks, you're going to be sick of seeing my face. Hopefully in a good way, but we'll see. No, it'd be good. It'd be good. Well, also, if anybody wants to connect with Mark, I've put a link to his LinkedIn. And even though he hasn't uploaded any content yet, then here is his. You'll see it all. It's all a blank canvas at the moment, ready to go. So I'm excited. Yeah. So and if anybody out there is interested in finding out more about creating video content for their business, then by all means, feel free to get in touch. We'd love to talk to you about how the club can help you with ongoing support, library of how to use video. You can't stick your hand behind my back now, Mick. But I was doing this bit on our video the other day that everybody will see later, which is our birthday thing. He was going like this behind me, the little sod. So library of content. We have a monthly creators meeting, which is the third Wednesday of every month, which is going to be this Wednesday. And obviously access to our courses that teach people how to create videos. I've spent a lot more and got a lot less, Gareth. You know, what you offer and the price that it's at is invaluable for me, and hopefully others will see that. And even if you want to come give it a go, we're a pretty open and honest group, and it's quite refreshing in this day and age. Thank you, Mark. And thank you for coming and telling us more about what you do and how you do that. I don't know. I can't do it. Anyway, we'll see you later, everybody. Maybe that's my niche. Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah. Paying him now. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later and have a good rest of the week. All right. Cheers, then. Bye-bye.